some noise for the next time.
Hello?
Hi.
My name's Kyle.
How you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
What about me? Well, you look at ask how I am.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Right. I wrote a poem. It's based on a true story. But before I read it, I want to give a big shout out to Kate and to Nancy, wherever she is. Thank you. And also to my mum, the one with the baby, and the dad sat next to her. I hope you enjoyed it. It's called Survival.
Come on, Kai. Come on.
I learned the shape of silence long before I learned my times table. Childhood, they say, it's meant to be soft. Blankets of laughter, sticky fingers from chocolate, and someone calling you in for dinner before the streetlights wake up. See, mine was different. I remember doors more than I remember toys. Doors closing, doors opening, doors I wasn't sure I would walk back through again. I remember grown-ups speaking in quiet voices as if the walls might carry their weight away, their words away. I remember bags being packed that were never meant to stay packed. And I remember a word that people kept saying that was supposed to feel warm. Care. Such a strange word, really, because care should feel like hands catching you before you fall. But sometimes it feels like being passed from one pair of hands to another, like nobody's quite sure what to really do with you. They called it care, but it never quite felt like anybody cared. So I learned early how to grow up quickly, faster than the other kids. While they worried about games, I worried about where I'd sleep next week. While they learned spelling lists, I learned the weight of uncertainty. You don't notice when a child grows up too fast. Not really. It doesn't look like growing. It looks like silence. Like sitting at the back of a classroom, staring through windows that show a world you don't feel part of. And school became a place where the storm inside me kept leaking out. Anger in places that didn't deserve it, laughter where I should have been listening, fights I didn't mean to start, and detentions that stacked up like unread letters. Teachers called it behaviour, but behaviour is just the shadow of something deeper. A language spoken by people who never learned how to say, I'm hurting. Sometimes I wonder if people saw a problem where there was just a kid trying to survive a life too big for him. Family became a word that lived in other people's stories. I watched classmates talk about weekends, holidays and Sunday dinners, and I smiled sometimes like I understood. But some distances aren't measured in miles. They're measured in missed birthdays, in empty seats at school events, in the quiet moments when everyone else is being picked up, and you wait just a little longer. Friendships came and went like seasons. They hurt sometimes, but not in the same way. Because friendships don't ask you to hand over your heart and trust someone not to drop it. Relationships do. And that's when things get harder. Because when you grow up learning that things disappear, homes, people, stability, you start expecting love to disappear too. So you build walls. Or worse, you pull the trigger yourself. January came like winter always does. Quiet at first, and then suddenly it's everywhere. I had something real standing in front of me. Something gentle. But fear has a strange way of disguising itself as control. So I ended it. Not because I didn't care, but because sometimes hurting yourself first feels safer than waiting for someone else to do it. self-sabotage is a quiet type of destruction. You don't see ashes, you don't see flames, you just see ashes. And the worst part is, I didn't just break myself, I broke her too. But before that, there had been another chapter, June to December. A story that looks like nothing far away, but truly felt like walking through broken glass. Some relationships teach you warmth, others teach you fear. So by the time January arrived, my heart had already learned to flinch, even when someone reached out gently. So again, I ran. And I've been trying to understand that choice ever since. But the truth is, some wounds start so early, you don't even remember the beginning, just fragments. A room, a shadow, a moment that felt wrong before you even had the words to explain why. And then there was a time that was only 4. Some memories don't need detail to leave fingerprints. They stay in the way you react, in the way your chest tightens when certain thoughts appear. In the quiet question that follows you for years. Why did that happen to me? But life carried on anyway, it always does. I'm 15 now, still figuring things out, still carrying pieces of a childhood that never had the chance to be a child. But then something unexpected happened. Someone told me I was going to baby people, and at first I thought I'd hate it. Another place, another room, another group of strangers pretending to understand. But sometimes the things you expect the least become the things that keep you standing. Because for the first time in a long time, I found a place where words weren't judged, where feelings didn't need to be hidden, where pain could be turned into something else. Poetry, stories, songs, raps, anything, you name it and I'll make it happen. And the truth wrapped in metaphor so sharp they make you stop and think. And thinking is powerful, because maybe someone listening recognizes a piece of themselves. Maybe someone who thought they were the only one aren't. And that kind of space is rare. A blessing in a world that moves too fast to notice quiet struggles. So I stand here now, still learning, still healing, still carrying the weight of years that came too early, but also holding something new, a voice. Not perfect, not finished, but real. And maybe that's enough for now. Because the strange thing about broken stories is that they don't always end where the damage happened. Sometimes they continue, sometimes they grow, and sometimes a kid that learned silence too early finds a way to turn that silence into words. Words that make people pause, words that make people wonder, words that remind the world that even the quietest voices carry whole universes inside them. And maybe, just maybe, this is only the beginning.